I was born in a little village called Wageningen in the outskirts of Suriname, in district Nikeri. The village is named after a city in the Netherlands. In the part of the village where I lived, called Lijn 1, only 100 people lived. When I reached the age of 11, my parents decided to move to Rotterdam, the second largest city in the Netherlands. Until that time, the only experience I had with Indian music was through Sarnami folk music called Gana and the film songs. In fact, my favorite singer at the time was Mukesh. My first encounter with Indian music in Rotterdam was through Hindu temples. There was one temple in particular that offered music classes, and there I started learning tabla at first. At the same time, we attended kirtans at my auntie's place, and this was my first introduction to Indian spiritual music. After a while, I saw an advertisement of Escaffier Music School that they offered music classes as well. There, I started learning tabla as well at first, and after a while I switched to singing. During these classes, I realized that all the music that I had been learning so far had its roots in Indian classical music. And this was really an eye-opening moment for me, and it changed my perspective on Indian music forever. Well, as a teenager, I started daydreaming about becoming a performing artist. And at the same time, I was really curious about the deeper aspects of Indian classical music. So I did a lot of things. I attended master classes, lectures, I visited concerts, workshops, you name it. After a while, my singing teacher suggested to me that I should go to Codarts Music University, which is a very special conservatorium because it is the only one in Western Europe that offers a curriculum in Indian classical music. Meanwhile, I was already studying civil engineering in the Technical University in Delft, but still the idea was very appealing to me. So I decided to do an audition and I got accepted as a student. So basically at that time I was doing two studies at the same time. When I graduated from civil engineering studies, I started working as a young professional. And then I found it really difficult to balance the working life with the study at Codarts. So after a while, I decided to pursue my musical career in a semi-professional level. Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Bol, Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Bol, Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Bol, Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Bol. Even though I'm a professional civil engineer and an entrepreneur, I wanted to keep my music close to me. At the same time, I saw in Rotterdam that there was no institute anymore that would teach Indian classical vocal music on a beginner's level. So for this reason, I decided to open up my own music school called Rasik, together with my cousin Rishidhir, who was at the time already a professional singer and a graduate from Codarts. I wanted young kids and adults to experience the same joy and richness in music that I experienced when I was young. I wanted to pass on this feeling to the new generation. When I started teaching at my music school, I realized that I should learn more and more about Indian classical music to be able to pass it on in a proper way. At the same time, I had this itching feeling, a sense of incompleteness, of not having finished my graduation. So that's why I decided to re-enroll at Codarts, and this time to complete my graduation.
So you're learning alap only in Akar, principally?
Yeah, Akar and Sargam, but from Mariana I learned also with the Dhrupad syllables. I also learned a little bit. But yeah,
because you can use some syllables. Many khayal singers, they use some syllables,
true.
but not exactly what we sing, not the same way. No. no one is official. We are also not official. It's just the way we learn from our gurus. But I'm just saying that they also use some syllabus in different manner, different way. But you can use if you want.
Okay, I will do it. Time management was my biggest challenge. To study Indian classical music means that you have to do a lot of hours of practice. So what I would do is when I drove to my work, I would practice in the car, on the highway and in the traffic jams, even though some people would look at me with strange eyes, and strange looks. But I had no choice basically, and I also didn't care much. So that's how I did it. And my social life also suffered. I started to seeing my friends and my family less and less. But I must say that they were very understanding and helpful. So I'm really grateful for their understanding and support. So basically I was living two lives at the same time. I had to be really efficient with my time, which meant that I could not always participate in the after-school activities of my fellow students who would meet up after classes to have jam sessions and talks about music. So it's been 2 hectic years of living on the edge and running and keeping up with all the projects, all the deadlines and all the homework at the same time. Welcome to train station Driebergen-Zeist. This is the project I've been working on for the past 3 years as a civil design leader during my studies of Indian classical music at Codarts. So we are standing here beneath the train viaduct, and the surface level of these floors is minus 4 meters. That means that it is 4 meters lower than the surrounding terrain. And the design of all these took us at least 1.5 to 2 years. I was responsible for the design of the concrete structures. To be honest, I have mixed feelings about this journey. The first thing that comes to my mind are my classes with my teacher, Chiranjeev Chakravarti. He is a wonderful teacher and he gives really practical advice and insights. Then the few moments that I could spend with my fellow students were very inspiring. These students of world music are so talented, and spending time with them gave me so much new energy and inspiration about music. The Department of World Music in Codarts is a fantastic environment to explore new styles of music, and there's great freedom to experiment. I wish I had more time to spend on my studies and truly enjoy it. At the same time, I'm grateful for the opportunity to realize my childhood dream, and getting this master's degree was on my bucket list. Refused is basically a funny wordplay, but it defines 2 circles of my personal life. The first circle that I'm completing is the re-enrollment of my studies and redefining myself as a musician and hopefully as an artist. The second circle that I'm completing is understanding all the different music styles that I grew up with and connecting them with the source, which for me is Indian classical music. It's an ode to my past, my present, and my future. As you've noticed, I'm a dreamer. I dream of opportunities, and at the same time, I'm ambitious. I would like to utilize my studies into many projects. I want to build on this unique momentum. I want to invest further in my music school to reach more people and enrich their lives with Indian classical music. I want to pursue my music career as a performing artist and bring Indian classical music to the Dutch theaters. And not only that, I want to connect with musicians across the globe and release my own album. These are dreams, and it will take me a while to realize them. But I'm an optimist. If I can re-enroll and finish my Codarts master studies, this will also become a part of my reality very soon.